Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yoga Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you for adjusting the mic. That was a little scary before. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Wir lesen von der Bhagavad-Gita, wie sie ist, übersetzt und erläutert von seiner göttlichen Gnade, Abhidharana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Do you understand German? No. But English? Yes. Okay. Kann jemand ins Englische übersetzen? Mataji, kannst du beide Sprachen? So? Ein bisschen? Es gibt viele, die so angefangen haben. Okay. Mataji, you? Deutsch, Englisch? No, only English. Only English. Okay. Kann einer von euch ins Deutsche übersetzen? Oder kannst du ins Deutsche übersetzen? Nein? Nein, okay. Kannst du ins Deutsche übersetzen? Ich werde langsam sprechen. Ich spreche langsam und wenn ich höre, dass du ein Wort nicht verstehst, dann sage ich es. Ja? Hm? Du schaffst das. Du kannst für Keshori und Mataji übersetzen. Und für Jan. Für 2 Leute. Du hast 2 Kunden. Das ist ein gutes Geschäft. Bitte. Jawohl. Okay. Zumindest heute. Man soll vor dem DT nichts versprechen. Gut. Dann. Okay. Then we. Mhm. Und ich rede langsam für dich. Hab keine Angst. Zumindest das Lesen, das kriegst du hin. Genau. Du musst nicht angehaftet sein ins Ergebnis. Dann ist es gar nicht so schlimm. Okay. So we sometimes have a language challenge because this is an international society. But that's all right. You are both familiar with Krishna consciousness, yes? Okay. Okay, so like almost every evening we are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita and we are presently reading from chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation. It is called like that. And we are reading text 5. Yagyadana tapakarma. It's there? Yes. Yagyadana tapakarma natyajang karyam evatat natyajang karyam evatat yagyodanang tapascaiva yagyodanang tapascaiva pavanani manishinam Pavanani Manishinam. Anyone likes to repeat? Yagya dana tapa karma natyajam karyameva tat yagyodanam tapasaiva pavanani manishinam. Yagya, of sacrifice. So viel wie du kannst, probier synchron zu übersetzen. So viel wie du kannst, nicht mehr als das, aber so viel wie du kannst, versuch synchron zu übersetzen. Bedeutet, dass du gleichzeitig mit mir sprichst. Und beim Vorlesen müsste das gehen. Dana, Charity, Tapaha and Penance, Karma, Activity, Na, Never, Tyajam, to be given up, Karyam, must be done, Eva, certainly, Tat, that, Yagyaha, sacrifice, Danam, charity, Tapaha, penance, Cha, also, Eva, certainly, Pavanani, purifying, Manishinam, even for the great souls. Translation. Krishna is telling Arjuna, acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. Purport. The yogis should perform acts for the advancement of human society. There are many purificatory processes for advancing a human being to spiritual life. The marriage ceremony, for example, is considered to be one of these sacrifices. It is called Vivaha Yagya. Now, this is a rhetoric question. Should a sannyasi, who is in the renounced order of life and who has given up his family relations, encourage the marriage ceremony? The Lord says here that any sacrifice which is meant for human welfare should never be given up. Vivaha Yagya, the marriage ceremony, is meant to regulate the human mind so that it may become peaceful for spiritual advancement. For most men, this Vivaha Yagya should be encouraged, even by persons in the renounced order of life. Sannyasis should never associate with women, but that does not mean that one who is in the lower stages of life, a young man, should not accept a wife in the marriage ceremony. All prescribed sacrifices are meant for achieving the Supreme Lord. Therefore, in the lower stages, they should not be given up. Similarly, charity is for the purification of the heart. If charity is given to suitable persons, as described previously, it leads one to advanced spiritual life. Omagana Timirandasya Ganandala Shalakaya Chaksuran Militangena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Praya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Pastatade Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yagya Dana Tapakama Natyajam Karyam Evatat Yagyo Danang Tapasthaiva Pavanani Manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. So, that was... Okay, so... Nein, jetzt ist vorbei. Man muss die Ergebnisse loslassen. Einfach bemühen. Das macht nichts. So, Krishna here is... Du musst nicht mitkommen, du musst nur immer wieder probieren, von einer Sekunde zur nächsten. Hast du die Erläuterung vorgelesen? Das ist gut. Lass mal deinen Geist einfach weg so. Und probier einfach. So... Yes. So, Krishna is telling Arjuna here, du musst nur hören und das versuchen zu wiederholen auf Deutsch. Nur versuchen, kein Ergebnis. Einfach probieren. Das ist unsere Philosophie. Dann kann man viel mehr machen, wenn man nicht am Ergebnis haftet. So, Krishna is here speaking to Arjuna about activities which are for everyone, not only for people who are within material life, but even for Manishinam, for great souls. So, yes. So, and these are free. There's yagya, there's charity, and penance, Entsagung. Oder Askese. Ja. Gut, sehr gut, sehr gut. So, and Krishna is saying that is for everyone. Everyone should continue to perform these three. Jeder sollte fortfahren, diese drei auszuführen. No matter what stage of life one is situated in auf irgendeine Weise, in some way. Probier weiter, das ist gut. Du machst das schon gut, aber du solltest weitermachen. So in some way, everyone should perform those three things. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport is especially emphasizing one interesting constellation, auf eine interessante Konstellation, which is that a sannyasi who is supposed to renounce the association of the other sex, of ladies, entsagen soll. Srila Prabhupada says he may still encourage someone else to do specifically young men, to get married. Also ein Sannyasi, obwohl er selber nichts mit Frauen zu tun haben soll, kann er auch kann er junge Männer dazu ermutigen, zu heiraten. Aber wo war das Opfer? Ich habe nicht Opfer gesagt. Du musst das wiederholen, was ich sage. Nein. Macht nichts, aber du machst das gut. And it is interesting that Srila Prabhupada is focusing on this, because he himself had to do that also. Srila Prabhupada, he himself, he came to the USA as a sannyasi, and he found many young boys and girls, we would say, who were interested in spiritual life, but they also had their consorts, or how to say, their lovers. Yes, and so because illicit man-woman relationships are not allowed in spiritual life, im spirituellen Leben. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, for many, he decided to just make a marriage for them. Yes, so he would marry many of his disciples. First, yes, like that. And as far as I understand, there were some contemporaries of Srila Prabhupada who would criticize him for that. Die ihn kritisierten dafür. Zeitgenossen. Yes. So, and but here Srila Prabhupada is pointing that there is a higher principle, which is that everyone should make spiritual advancement. Yes, and we should live our life in general. The general principle is that we should live for spiritual advancement. And whatever way of life is best for any person, for spiritual advancement, was für ein Individuum die beste Art zu leben ist, für spirituellen Fortschritt, he should live like that. Yes, so, and that is different for everyone. It is not the same for everyone. Mach einfach weiter. Es ist nicht anders, es ist nicht gleich für alle. Kannst du das wiederholen? Ja. Okay. So, it is not the same for everyone. Everyone is different. But everyone should make spiritual advancement. And for everyone, this means that we have to look in our own life and see what can be done. And this and Srila Prabhupada also in the end of the purport, he's mentioning about giving charity. Er spricht über Wohlfahrt. And you should know one thing for sure. All of you should know one thing for sure. If you ever have money and you meet a saintly devotee, einen Heiligen, if you meet a holy man an advanced devotee or a person whom you consider advanced, you have faith, you should give him some money. And it is guaranteed that you will make advancement by this. Because Krishna is very close to an advanced devotee. Fortgeschrittenen Gottgewählten. And if you give money to such a person, it is almost as if you're giving to Krishna directly. It is as if you are already in the spiritual world. So if you ever get money, you put something aside, you wait for the next sannyasi to come, or preacher, or even if in your own environment you think that someone is very advanced, give something. You should be very assured that you will make advancement, which you will experience. You may have more taste for chanting, or you may have some deep realizations. These things are something you can experience if you do. Wenn du es machst, wenn man das macht, dann kann man das erfahren. Have some realization. So, these are the two things Srila Prabhupada is especially touching upon. Das sind die zwei Sachen, die Srila Prabhupada insbesondere ausführt. And beyond that, there's of course at least in our movement, this is a very crucial thing, is yagya, Sankirtana yagya. Yes, the congregational chanting of Hare Krishna. And there is one, I remember once on Monday we were hearing these short video records of Srila Prabhupada speaking, and in one thing Srila Prabhupada was also speaking about chanting Hare Krishna together, chanting and dancing, and he said best is Kirtaniya Sada Hari, always chant Hare Krishna. But if you cannot do that, then at least 4 or 6 times every day. So if you come together, the more you chant Hare Krishna together, the better it is. And I'm sure that all of us who are sitting here at least have some experience of this. For me, I always have this strongest experience of this when after the Guru Puja Kirtan, before the morning lecture. When the kirtan is nice, then if you lie down afterwards to offer obeisances, I always feel very light. And that is what we actually are supposed to get from yagya. And in the third chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, it's also speaking about yagya, and Krishna is saying that, or Srila Prabhupada in the purport is saying that yagya is meant, at least it is meant for, for living in this world, in dieser Welt leben zu können. Jawohl. Because if you do yagya, then nicely, then material nature will provide everything for you. Yes, and that is a fact, and and this is something we have to also develop faith in. Wir müssen Glauben entwickeln darin. It's one sign of advancement. Ein Zeichen von Feuer. Because if we see that advanced devotees, they have this in common. They don't work for anything material. They don't work for material things. They work only for Krishna. And so this is also there in this small book which we have of Prabhupada. In this small book which we have of Prabhupada, this is my request. Then there's a quote of Prabhupada. He says, he's quoting his own spiritual master. He says, "My spiritual master said, don't worry about money. Just do something nice for Krishna, and money will come." And this should be something over time, we should more and more experience this thing. That if we just faithfully do something for Krishna, then everything that we need will always be there. And we should be very confident, especially that when we engage in the main activities of this movement, we will experience this more and more. That and those three main activities in this movement are to chant Hare Krishna in public, to preach the chanting of Hare Krishna. And one is to distribute Vedic literature, or we can say give charity, dana, give Vedic literature and charity, give the Bhagavad-Gita, give Bhagavatam, give the small books which Prabhupada has written, which are commentaries on those same books. And the third thing is distribute. What do you think? Yes, prasadam. So if you distribute prasadam to anyone, even here in the temple, if you if you stand down there and everyone is coming for breakfast and you're giving, or for lunch and you're giving prasadam in charity. It is a pious activity. It's a charity. It's eine Wohltätigkeitsarbeit. Spiritual welfare activity. So, but especially if you give those three things to people who have never had those things before, it is a very special thing. Krishna, he will always become very, very, wie sagt, im Deutschen, der kriegt sich nicht mehr ein vor Freude. And Krishna, he will, wie? Yes. So Krishna, he becomes so happy. And the devotee who is involved with such activities will always feel that in his heart. So, ein Devotee, der damit zusammenarbeitet, der... Ja. And also, if we engage in such activities, how to say, we will see how Krishna helps us materially. Materiell. He will help us materially. Er wird uns materiell auch helfen. Auf materieller Ebene. So. I don't want to tell details because time is going, but when a few weeks ago there was a spontaneous decision by authorities that I have to stay in Munich for 1 week, and I want to distribute some books there also, and I don't know how to take so many books to Munich for a whole week. And then the evening before I went, I met one guest here who lives in Landshut, which is a city between here and Munich. And then and first of all, he took most of the books I wanted to distribute, he took them from here. on the same evening when he went. And on the next day, he agreed even that we go to Landshut by train, and then from Landshut he will take us all the way to Munich with his own car. So basically Krishna arranged for such a nice transport spontaneously. It all happened spontaneously. So, and this happens when we do something for Krishna, which is really pleasing to Krishna also. Then he will help us with all the small material things also, which have to happen, so that we can do some service like that. So, like that. Das war ein Russe namens Wladimir. Der kam aus Kasachstan eigentlich. One man. He came here for a few weeks now. So this we will experience, this material support, which is ultimately not material. Someone is behind that, and we understand that Krishna is behind that, Lord Chaitanya is behind that, Srila Prabhupada is behind that, and so even material things are easily achieved when we do yajna. We get our food, we get our shelter, we get everything we need. Actually, okay, we may not have so much faith, but if we do those activities, we will see that the faith will increase because we get experience. And then from yajna, Krishna is not recommending yajna to, well, actually also, but Krishna is telling that ultimately yajna is not meant for material things. Yajna is meant for what? It is meant for more. It is meant for liberation from matter. So a person who is doing yajna nicely, he becomes liberated from matter. And to become liberated from matter is something which is not very important to most people. Most people, they like their matter. They like their material body. They like to... Sie mögen ihren materiellen Körper. But we theoretically we have to understand that this body is a problem. It is not a nice thing. And it is good for us to become freed from this body. Because we are something else, we are the spirit soul. And over time we also have to realize this thing. And then we will appreciate how a special thing it is. Was sollen wir machen? Er ist so angehaftet ans Ergebnis. Du bist zu sehr ans Ergebnis angehaftet. Lass das los und mach weiter. Okay, dann. So when we understand that we actually want to become free, that we want to become liberated, then we will appreciate this feeling which we have after the kirtan, to be light, to be joyful. It means that the soul is free. But do we understand that we want this and that this is important? What to speak of? And because if we understand this, then we will be able to, then we will have a desire to work for that very actively. We will work in such a way that we can get up for, I don't know, best Mangal Arati, or even earlier than Mangal Arati. How many rounds of your japa can you chant before Mangal Arati? Or how much can you reduce your eating on Ekadashi? Or how much can you how much attachment do you have for devotional activities? How much attachment do you have to read the Bhagavad-Gita? How much attachment do you have to read Krishna book or Srimad Bhagavatam? All these literature. Because all these activities, they will give us that feeling of being light and liberated. Because then we are liberated. That is the wonderful thing. Devotional life, it is always liberating. Devotional activities always liberate us. So if we really understand that we want to be liberated, then we can be so much more conscious and determined in our devotional life, in devotional activities. And that is desirable. That is good for the soul. That is healthy for the soul. So, yes. Okay, I stop here. Maybe anyone has some question or comment. Ich bin fertig. Okay? Yes? Sprich Englisch. When Krishna shows him. The soul knows, but the soul is covered. But if you come in contact with a pure person, you by meeting that pure person, you also become uncovered, for a moment at least. Yes. The covering of the person is so strong that it is not fully pushed away by the devotee. Maybe. Both helps. If the person is less contaminated, that helps. If a devotee is more pure, that helps. But yes, like that. Like that, yes. But the soul always shines through, and with a pure devotee, even if a person is not willing to act on the realization, but he may still have strong realizations. I met one, we say bhakta, a young man, who came here once, and he told that, I don't remember how exactly, but basically he started chanting Hare Krishna for himself. No close association with devotees, and he was, I don't remember, maybe he was reading something, but he was really in the beginning of his reading. But still he had some, like, he was chanting, and internally he saw a Krishna. Basically a darshan. So he didn't know anything. So in the same way, such things may also happen if you meet a pure devotee. They actually open for you the spiritual realm by their association. That is really advanced devotee. That is not just anyone who is chanting a little bit, but a person who is actually advanced by his association. You can have that. Who knows what happens if you give money to the Swami? You give money to the Swami, next night you have a dream, who knows? So such things can happen. I cannot tell anything to a pure devotee. That's not my position. Du willst ja eh nicht hingehen. Vergiss es. Ja, dann vergiss es. Dann vergiss es. Ha? Yes. 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 And then? Give up the fruits. But don't give up the endeavor. That is purity. That is surrender. If you stand on the street and everyone is telling you, go home, or everyone is telling you nothing, which is the toughest thing, or there is a big cloud coming and then starting to rain like anything. If you're equipped, you can run into DM, or you can buy a small umbrella, or you have one already. But no matter what happens to the weather, or other way around, you have sun, you have scorching sun, and you have no shade. You have no shade, and you have to stand there in the sun. Or you have the rain, and it's cold, and the rain is coming like this. Sometimes it's coming like that. And the people tell you nothing good. Huh? They all just, either they say nothing, or they say, no, thank you, go home, leave me alone. I have no time for you. If you can tolerate all these things and continue your service, that is surrender. That is purity. If the whole world is telling, no, I don't need you, I don't want you, I don't care about you, but you say, Krishna, I'm doing this for you. I don't care about the result, but I care about what you want from me. If you can do that, that is pure devotional service. Yes, but try to understand this point. If you would have stayed here until the end, that would have been pure devotional service. Try to understand this point. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Hmm. That's a nice question. Good sadhana. I mean, good sadhana. That sounds so mechanical. Your endeavor has to be in proportion to your strength of heart. Then it remains pure. Because you have to tolerate all the no, I don't want. You have to tolerate that. And you yeah, whatever it is, but if you have to tolerate all that rejection, and you tolerate that on the strength of your relationship with Krishna ultimately. Because you're doing not for them, you're doing for Krishna, right? Or no? So if you don't do that, then it's not pure. Yeah, but that's the, you have to do for Krishna. If you do for Krishna, then if you really do for Krishna, then there's no question of being attached to result again. You will not be attached to, they will say no, they will say yes. No, if you're actually doing with conviction for Krishna, then you will be happy for 3 hours, even if no one takes. And you told yourself that the first person who took, he became very touched. So it means that you took some austerity, and you got the result of that austerity. You really touched one person. That is worth many flowers. How many flowers, we don't care, but okay, they're transcendental flowers, so it's also good. But can we maintain that purity of I'm doing for Krishna? And yes, we can say that, okay, we save someone, but I would say that there's a more mature platform where we understand that any service, even we say preaching activities, that is also for us, ourselves. That is for our own purification. It is for our own good, if we do those. If you can approach a person with the book, and you say that, hello, where are you from? We want to give you this book. That is your voice. But your mind is saying, Krishna, you're in the heart of that person. Please accept my service. Please, I want to serve you. Please take the book. Can you think like that? That is better. And then you're only with Krishna. Srila Prabhupada also said told his devotees, you don't go to the street when you distribute books or when you do those activities. You don't go to the street to meet people. You go to meet Lord Chaitanya. You go to meet Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya is interested in that activity. That his message is spread everywhere. It's his instruction. Whomever you meet, give Krishna a katha. Give the book. So Lord Chaitanya is interested in that. So you're begging Lord Chaitanya, please let me give you this book. You're in the heart of that person. Please take the book. What about that? So if you have that mood, then of course you shouldn't be angry with Krishna. You should be humble before him. But if you can be humble like this, and then you just tell Krishna, please take the book. Then you will be humble. You will not be puffed up. And you will not become angry. And you will not become resentful. So better do those activities which help you to develop that mood. Okay. Okay, time is going. I'm sorry for keeping everyone here so long. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the Bhagavad-Gita. Hare Krishna.